Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy Strong Style, Cinephile, and we got ourselves a teaser for Superman and Lois, which is coming to the CW February 23rd. Now, didn't really have all that much in it. He's doing this voiceover where he's kind of talking about the changes that you go through in life and kind of how that can pull you in a lot of different directions, and you can have the strength to kind of pull things back together and kind of, I guess, lean on your family in those tough times. And of course we see images of Clark, we see images of Lois, we see images of the Super Sons, which are going to be a factor in the series. It remains to be seen kind of how big. But we know John Diggle is going to be back. That's the most important thing to me. Anyway, Diggle is going to be back in an episode or two because he's returning to a handful of episodes across the Arrowverse. We know that David Ramsey is going to be sitting in the director's chair for one of the early episodes of Superman Lois. Remains to be seen kind of which one it is and kind of just how he puts his stamp on that episode. Is it going to be the one where Diggle actually comes back, or is he just going to have an episode where Diggle is not involved so he can just focus on the behind the camera stuff? That's personally what I would do. Now we know this show is coming back to Smallville, and we know that Lana Lang is going to be there. Lana Lang, I think Cushing is her last name, and she's going to be married, have a daughter. The executives have already said that Lana is not going to be used as some sort of thing to get in between Lois and Clark, but this is the CW, so we're not devoid of the angsty sort of will they won't they love triangle crap that just needs to happen for whatever reason. So we're not going to get it for Lois and Clark and Lana. We're going to get it through Lana's son, or Lana's daughter, as well as the Super Sons. They're going to feud over Lana, so yay for that. There's going to be some moments, some episodes of family divide, and we're going to see lots of moments where we have those like little one-on-one emotional talks where we have the emotional moral of the story music playing in the background as Lois or Clark will talk about family and the importance of sticking together, and they're all they've got, yada yada yada. So expect that type of stuff to go on. I'm sure it hasn't been said whether or not they will have superpowers. I imagine that they will to some degree. So you'll have one son who's going to probably be like the brash, reckless one who's going to want to use his powers at every single turn, doesn't care who's watching it. The other one's going to be more quiet, reserved, will use his powers to help people, doesn't jump at the chance to do it, wants to be like just normal, which also create friction between the brothers. This is just like, I'm speculating on all of this, but this is the kind of stuff that I'm expecting to happen because it's the CW, and those are typical tropes for these kind of stories involving these types of characters. General Sam Lane was recast from the actor who played him on Supergirl and to the actor who will play him on Superman and Lois. Sam Lane, General Lane, will expect Superman to kind of jump for him when he needs to jump through whatever hoop to defeat whatever villain, but there will be an underlying distrust between the two because General Lane will see Superman as a huge threat. Now, will they have a come to Jesus moment in the first season that kind of gets them over that hump, or will that be an angle that they play throughout the entire series? Remains to be seen. Apparently Lois is going to be wearing a lot of purple in the show. They put it out there to the fans what they kind of wanted, a wardrobe they want to see her in. She wore a lot of purple on the cartoon, so she's going to wear a lot of purple on the show. We know that Superman is getting a new costume. We're getting rid of the buckles on the shoulders that a lot of people didn't like, and we're going to see where the cape is like tucked in around the collar of the top, so a lot of people are going to be happy with that. Remains to be seen in motion, but I mean, it's a Superman suit. You really can't screw that up too much, I wouldn't think. I know a lot of people are kind of wishing that instead of Tyler Hoechlin, who I think did a serviceable job as Superman on Supergirl in the various crossovers that he's been involved in, a lot of people wanted Brandon Routh to kind of get another shot at being Superman because of the disaster that was Superman Returns. It's again one of those cases where Brandon Routh made a good Superman. He was just stuck in a terrible Superman movie. It's like Gal Gadot. It's a good Wonder Woman. She was stuck in a terrible Wonder Woman sequel. Henry Cavill. It's a really good Superman. He's just been stuck in just crummy outings as Superman. Same thing for Routh, but Routh viewed his time as Superman on Crisis as his kind of love letter, his saying goodbye, his closure to that character. So I'm okay with it, us not getting another Superman show featuring him, because he did a good job in Crisis. Let's just leave it at that and kind of see where we can go with Tyler Hoechlin. Although compared to Ralph, when they were in the scenes together, Ralph is much taller. And I imagine they added some padding in his suit and stuff like that, kind of make him even buffer. Tyler appeared kind of small for Superman, but Ralph is not on the show, so he has nobody to make him look small outside of like the villains that they get. So remains to be seen kind of what villains they pull out of their hat. We know that there's going to be the Stranger, who's going to be on a mission to prove that the world doesn't need a Superman. Now, is he just using that identity to cover up another bigger villain reveal that we'll get, somewhere around the mid-season finale, which is like episode 8 or 9, which I don't understand. I've never understood why that's called mid-season finale when that's not the middle of the season. Or will it maybe perhaps be the Phantom Stranger, who's already appeared in Swamp Thing, or just will it be a all-new villain made for the show? Remains to be seen. And then, of course, with the show, we get the family angle. Now, I've said many, many times that each CW Arrowverse show should have a different sort of slant to it. Arrow was the dark, gritty, down-to-earth, I hate those buzzwords, but it is what it is, show. Flash in the beginning was the Silver Age, cheesy, over-the-top type of show. It got serious when it needed to, but it was largely just the fun. It just took Superpowers and immediately, while Arrow took seasons to get to Superpowers, Flash just started out of the gate with them and just totally ran with it and just had fun. Legends of Tomorrow started off as one thing, but they tried to be kind of another Arrow show, but then they kind of evolved and changed to where theirs is the cheesy, over-the-top, just cheeseball corn fest of a show that just has fun. And I've come to love that show. It's one of my favorites up there, even though the last season was kind of like, more than usual, and I think the show's running on fumes, and this season upcoming just needs to be the last one of that. You have Black Lightning, which was kind of the woke, socially conscious show from a black family perspective. You have Supergirl, which is kind of like the girl power type of show. You have Batwoman, which is LGBT representative and inclusive from that slant for the main character. So each show provided like a different sort of thing that you could latch on to that would separate it from the other shows. So it remains to be seen kind of how the family dynamic for Lois and Clark for their show is with their kids, and kind of how it plays out. And the stark contrast it will be from the family show that is Black Lightning, because they're going to be dealing with completely different subject matters and plots and that sort of thing. So it remains to be seen how it all plays out. I am hopeful for it. Although I'd much rather CW bring forth superheroes that they haven't touched. I kind of wondered where the Arrowverse was going to be after Arrow and after the season, because we know Black Lightning is going away. We know Supergirl is going away. Legends of Tomorrow likely will, because it's on fumes. How many more seasons do we have on Arrow or on Flash? Flash is definitely on fumes. The last few seasons have sucked by and large. So it remains to be seen. We don't know how this experiment with Javicia Leslie replacing Ruby Rose and Batwoman is going to go. So that show could go away after just the second season. Then what are we left with? The Flash and Superman and Lois. So I would have much rather than, we know that there is a Wonder Woman show in development with a newer Wonder Woman from the comics. I think she's the first Hispanic. She would be the first Hispanic superhero lead character for an Arrowverse show. If they go with this new Wonder Woman. And, so we'll have that show. If that goes to series, we have Stargirl, so we have that show. So that's the Arrowverse going forth. It's kind of taking shape, and it's changing, and it should change and evolve, and we should bring in new characters, not always be dependent upon what's made us money in the past. Which again, Superman, we have plenty of other stuff. We don't need to go super anything. We don't need to go bat anything. Just so many other characters. Let's just bring something different, because the movies are always going to go back to the well that is Superman and Batman. So this is TV. Let's take that opportunity to just do different things, bring us different characters. That's all I ask, but it's probably not going to play out like that. Remains to be seen how it ultimately plays out. But anyway, those are my thoughts on it, some of my scant thoughts on Superman and Lois, and some of the things that we've come to know will happen, some of the details about the show. So what do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. And yeah, February 23rd. It's not around the corner. It's not like tomorrow, but it's not too far off either. So it'll be here sooner than we know it, as well as the other CW show premieres. So yeah, till next time, let us geek.